My intelligent television unveiled the infidelity of my not-so-intelligent wife after 15 years of marriage. I, a 43-year-old man, have been wedded to Jane, a 43-year-old woman, for a decade and a half. Our union bore 2 daughters, Lily, aged 13, and Ella, aged 11. Our family was once a sanctuary of joy, until the harsh reality of my wife's betrayal was laid bare. Last week, we celebrated our friend Mike's birthday through a video call. As we engaged in casual banter, my wife dozed off on the couch, and that's when the truth unraveled before my eyes. I discovered the sordid details of her secret affair, and it felt like a dagger through my heart. The messages on her phone revealed a clandestine relationship with her childhood friend, Matt. Their exchanges were not the innocent conversations she led me to believe. They were filled with explicit content and intimate confessions. I was consumed by a mix of emotions, anger, disbelief, and a desperate need to understand the extent of her betrayal. I was drowning in a sea of deceit, unable to comprehend the magnitude of her infidelity. The silence that followed was suffocating, and I felt like a ghost haunting my own home. As I scrolled through the damning evidence, I was gripped by a sense of disbelief and disgust. When Jane woke up and realized that her double life was exposed, she attempted to salvage the situation. Her feeble attempts to explain herself only added fuel to the fire of my fury. The next morning, as I grappled with the aftermath of the previous night, she tried to downplay the severity of her actions. Her excuses only served to further enrage me. I demanded the truth, despite the turmoil it brought. I needed her to confess every sordid detail of her betrayal, even though the mere thought of her words made me sick to my stomach. I was teetering on the edge of reason, grappling with the devastating revelation that my entire married life had been a facade. The betrayal cut deep, and I was determined to unearth every painful truth. I was a man on the brink, torn between the desire to unravel the painful truth and the overwhelming urge to shut out the reality that threatened to consume me. In a moment of desperation, I demanded that she lay bare the entire truth, or face the consequences of betraying a husband who had been deceived for 15 long years. Her confession shattered the remnants of trust that lingered within me. The truth was laid bare: she and Matt had been lovers all along. In high school, they began a physical relationship that endured over time. However, Matt, a lethargic individual, openly admitted his inability to provide for Jane. Matt, a high school dropout, relied on his parents' properties for financial support, but it was insufficient for both of them. During my visits to Jane's house, I met Matt's concerned parents, who urged Jane to motivate him to find employment or start a business. Jane confessed to breaking up with Matt multiple times due to his commitment issues, yet he always managed to win her back. Surprisingly, Matt never objected to Jane dating other men, despite being exclusively devoted to her. When I questioned why she didn't marry him, Jane revealed that Matt couldn't offer her a comfortable life. Neither of them had stable jobs or ambitious career goals. Jane chose to lead a dependent life, fearing that Matt wouldn't be able to support their children if I abandoned them. I was torn between relief and doubt upon learning that the children were mine. I demanded that she leave, threatening to expose her truth to everyone, including the girls. I felt suffocated by the truth, drowning my sorrows in alcohol and struggling to decide my next steps. I confided in my in-laws, only to be confronted by Jane, who insisted on keeping our issues private. Our ensuing confrontation led to emotional turmoil, with Jane deflecting blame onto me. I forbade her from returning home and sought legal counsel for a divorce. She left, sending messages seeking forgiveness and promising to end her affair. A week later, I remained troubled, contemplating how to address the situation with my daughters. I sought legal advice and discussed my concerns about the children. The lawyer advised me to approach the separation delicately and assured me of a strong custody case due to Jane's joblessness and affair. My parents arranged for Jane to pick up the kids, unaware of the situation. I avoided discussing the matter in front of the children and informed Jane of my decision to divorce her. She pleaded with me, expressing concern for the children's well-being. I remained resolute, granting her a week to confront the girls about her infidelity. Throughout the week, I distanced myself from home, while Jane's anguish echoed through the house. I pitied her, but couldn't comprehend her actions over the years. She had numerous chances to end her relationship with her lover, yet she persisted. She laid bare our private conversations, my vulnerabilities, my deepest secrets, everything in front of him. How could I forget all of that? On Friday night, she informed me that she had a plan to confront the girls the next day. I agreed. On Saturday, after breakfast, she told the kids that we had news for them. She announced that I had to move to another country, and thus I would be leaving for a few years. I was speechless as my daughter stared at me. I sarcastically asked her in front of the girls if this meant I had to move out. She rolled her eyes, signaling me to be quiet. She suggested that if the house was too big for the three of us, we could move to her parents' house and later find a smaller place. The girls were bewildered by all this. They were young, but not foolish, to comprehend the game she was playing. My younger daughter told Jane that what she was saying didn't make sense, while the older one directly questioned us. "Are you getting divorced?" I gave Jane a stern look and urged her to tell the truth. She sighed and broke down. The girls looked at me for answers. I confirmed their suspicion about the divorce. I explained that we no longer felt compatible. My older daughter suggested that I might be having an affair, and that's why Jane was crying. Instead of clarifying, Jane just hugged her in anticipation. The girls gave me a disgusted look. I was enraged at that manipulative woman. I was astonished at how she had turned the tables on me. I confided in my daughters, telling them how I found out and what their mother was up to, of course, omitting the explicit content. Jane berated me for not standing by my words. She argued that I had given her the freedom to explain to the girls, so why didn't I support her when she was telling them about my transfer? The situation was out of control, and I decided to confront Jane's manipulation. I called my parents and my in-laws and asked them to come over immediately. Both of them lived 25 to 30 minutes away, and within an hour, all four of them were at my house. That 1 hour was a nightmare for me, which I'll never forget in my life. My daughters were crying and clinging to me, and seeing this, Jane tried her best to justify her actions. She even went as far as painting me as a liar and turning the girls against me. She stopped only when I told her I had evidence of those conversations. My parents were shocked to see us in that state. I recounted the incident briefly. Everyone condemned Jane for such a despicable act. She kept sobbing and begging for forgiveness. For a moment, I felt sorry for her. It pains me to see her like this, but she brought it upon herself. Instead of portraying me as the villain in front of my daughters, she could have just told them we fell out of love or something. But she wasn't willing to accept even the slightest blame, and now her ugly truth is exposed to everyone, including our daughters. I made it clear that we were going through with the divorce, and the girls would be with me. I asked her parents to take her away. Even the girls asked her to leave. My parents decided to stay for a few weeks and take care of us. It was indeed a tough time for us, but I'm glad we emerged stronger. I sought therapy for all three of us, and we are in a much better mental space now. My divorce proceedings are ongoing. Jane has claimed a share in my house, which I'm contesting because she doesn't deserve a penny. Surprisingly, she didn't contest the custody of the children, making it clear where her priorities lie. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video.